welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana and today we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna do kind of like a get ready with me, and that is not typically what you would see here on my channel, but two of my favorite YouTubers, Remi and Alisha Marie, recently collaborated with Tarte Makeup to release a makeup palette, and I bought it. And so I kind of just wanted to do a little get ready with me, use this, give you my thoughts on it, and kind of do a little bit of a review on it, I guess. So I figured I would just kind of chat with you while I get ready. It is like extremely windy outside, so I'm not really sure what this lighting situation is gonna be because this tree literally keeps like blocking in front of the sun, so hopefully that's not too annoying. And in terms of makeup, I've already primed my face with the Milk Hydro Grip primer. It takes a little bit of time to dry, so I already did that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pin my bangs up so they're out of the way. So typically first what I do is I actually just use this tinted moisturizer by Tarte. So it's the Amazonian clay one, and I actually just apply this with my hands. So like I was saying, Remi and Alisha are two of my like absolute favorite YouTubers. I've been watching them for years now. I feel like it's been like maybe 5 or 6 years. I actually found Remi first, and I found her during the time period where she was talking a lot about her like weight loss journey and basically back with like her dancing videos and stuff. And then from her I actually found Alisha, and they are two YouTubers that I literally could just watch all of their videos and just binge them and like rewatch them and not get bored with it. Okay, so honestly, I don't worry too much about this like looking flawless at this point because I go in with a concealer over this actually, and then that's where I like blend it out and whatnot. So at this point, it just kind of like, is it on there? Next, what I do is I will go in with this Too Faced Born This Way concealer right here, and I use it in the shade Snow. I kind of go in with this a little hard. It depends on the day really. And another thing is that since quarantine, I have not actually been wearing a lot of makeup. I really haven't been doing like eyeshadow or anything like that. And so I really was kind of on the fence about whether or not I should buy this palette or not, because I was like, I'm not wearing makeup, do I really need it? But then it's just kind of like the perfect neutrals palette. Plus I just genuinely love Remi and Alisha, and so I felt like I had to have it. Okay, so I know you guys don't want to see like 5 minutes of me just like blending this out, so I'm gonna go ahead and speed through this and then we'll catch back up. Another thing I want to draw attention to is it may appear as if this foundation isn't a right match, and I know that James Charles in all of his videos talks about how one thing he can't do is find a perfect foundation match, and I actually think I know the answer to why that is, and I think that I also struggle with it too. I think it's because we both have like really pink undertones to our skin, and so you're obviously not gonna find a foundation that's like straight up pink, and so I feel like no matter what, it's just never going to match 100%. Like you can match it as well as like you can to maybe your neck, but I feel like it's not actually gonna look the same color as my face. So for example, when my foundation like wears off around like my hairline, there's definitely a line. You can see that because my skin is just literally like pink, and I've noticed that James Charles is also kind of like that. So I'm wondering if that's why he has such a challenging time matching his foundation. So after I've done that, I actually use this Laura Mercier powder. So actually this is not typically the one I use. I usually use the translucent one just to set everything. But the last time I was at Sephora, you weren't allowed to like go in because of COVID stuff and whatnot. And so you had to just like tell the lady what you want. And so I told her I wanted the translucent powder, but she ended up getting me one of the like colored powders, I guess, or the foundation powders, and I didn't really notice it till I got home, so I've just been using this one. So I just try to like apply lightly so it doesn't look like too cakey or anything, just to set everything in place. So after that, I will typically go in with this Rare Beauty blush, and I use it in the shade Bliss, and honestly I also just apply this with my fingers. So I just put a couple of dots on my cheeks right there, and then I just kind of rub them in. I know a lot of people say you shouldn't use like liquids or creams over the powder, the translucent powder that I put on, but yeah. Also, I never claimed to be a makeup expert. I'm definitely not a makeup expert. If anything, I'm like a makeup novice, but I just felt like I would give my thoughts on the palette generally. Okay, so next we're gonna go in and do my eyebrows. So I do need a little bit of a mirror for this, so I'm just gonna kind of do it like this and hope that that works for the camera. So if you'll notice, I actually have no eyebrows. You just can't see them. They're like very clear. So I do kind of go in a little heavily on the eyebrows, but I don't like them to look like too shaped because I still want them to look just like normal eyebrows. So I think we're gonna call that on the eyebrows. Sometimes with the eyebrows I get a little overexcited and then I keep going and then they just look bad. And by the way, I'm using this eyebrow pencil from Item Beauty, so it's Addison Rae's makeup line. I actually don't love this eyebrow pencil, but I bought it and so I'm just trying to like use it up. But normally I use the like Milk eyebrow gel in the shade MJ, so that's usually the one I use, but just trying to get through that. Okay, so now is when we get to move into the actual point of this video. So we have made it to the Pretty Basic palette. When you open it up, you will see that it comes with 6 eyeshadow shades and then a highlighter and a bronzer. You can see that the shades are named after like things relating to them. So we have Daisy, which is Remi's dog, and then we have Perf, and then we have Content Baby Content. I feel like they always say that. And then we have Boy Drama, and we have Ring Ring, and then we have Chloe, and that is Alicia's dog. And then we have Pretty and Basic down here. So I haven't used all of the shades in this palette, and like I said, I haven't really been doing like heavy eyeshadow looks recently, but for the purposes of this, I think we'll go a little bit heavier than I normally would on an eyeshadow look. So let's get into it. And okay, so honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. Because I have not been doing eyeshadow looks, cannot find any of my brushes. So we're gonna be working with this one brush. So grant me some grace here. So I think what we're first gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and take Daisy, which is this like light champagne color, and we're gonna just put it all over the lid just as like a base. And then I'm gonna particularly try to highlight this like inner corner. Okay, so that was really light, so I actually think we're gonna take Perf and go in over most of the eyelid again, just to actually give a little bit of a darker base, since we are going for a little bit darker of a look. Next, I think what we're gonna do is we are going to take a little bit of Boy Drama right here, and we're gonna put that in our outer crease. Again, I don't really know what I'm talking about totally. This is just how I would normally do it if I was doing my makeup. I feel like I'm just really bad at doing makeup, so I feel like I'm gonna do this whole review and then my makeup's gonna look awful, and it's not the palette's fault, it's really just my fault. I'm gonna be real. I think we're gonna take a little bit of Ring Ring and just try to darken this up a little bit. Oh, I have not had this much makeup on in so long. Okay, normally what I would do is I would try to take like a little small, like either like eye gel pencil or like the angled like ones and try to get it under my lash line a little bit. But since I cannot find that brush, we will not be doing that today. I think lastly, let's actually jump in with Chloe, which is this darkest one right here. And let's actually put that right in the outer corner and just see what happens. I just want to see how dark. Okay, so that added some depth, and I added just like the tiniest bit of that. The good news for me and doing makeup is the fact that I have like very, I think, hooded eyes. I don't know, they're very like deep set in my face, I guess. And so sometimes when I'm like doing it and it looks bad and then I open my eyes, it actually doesn't look that bad because most of my eye like goes inside my head. I don't know if that happens for anyone else, but it really helps to fix any mistakes or hide any mistakes. I guess not fix them. Let's try to put a little bit down here. This is way too big of a brush for this. I don't know if this is gonna be successful. Okay, no, that was not successful. Oh my gosh, this is like so bad. This is really not the palette's fault. This is my fault. Okay, next what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of Pretty, which is actually the highlighter shade, but I want to put some of it on the inner corner just to give it a little bit of a pop. And then we're gonna put some of that right under this brow bone as well. I will say I think it's like a very subtle highlighter shade. It's not like gonna blind you or anything, which I typically like a little bit more of a blinding highlighter, but I think for the purposes of this palette, which is like a very basic, you know, neutrals and whatnot, and I think it's a good choice. Next, we're gonna go in with some of that highlighter right on the cheekbone right there. And I'm gonna be real, I don't usually contour, but since getting this palette, I have been trying to a little bit, but I feel like I don't really know how, to be honest. I told you I'm not really a makeup person. I don't know, does that look how it's supposed to look? I have no idea. Okay, I think we're gonna call it there. Just because, like I said, I am just not the best at makeup. Now, next, normally what I would do is I would go in with my mascara. So I typically use either the Milk Kush mascara or the item beauty lash snack. For today, we're not going to use these because the Pretty Basic palette actually came with this mascara with it. I don't think that Remy and Alisha actually had anything to do with making this mascara, but I think you just get it with it, I think. And it is called the Lights Camera Lashes 4-in-1 mascara. So you just get this little mini version right here. So I have not actually used this yet, so this is my first time using it. So we'll go ahead and try that. I also feel like mini mascaras always perform a little bit differently than their full size, just because you get a little less control with the, you know, wand and whatnot. So we'll see. I'm not hating this mascara. Like I said, it is this little mini version. So I feel like I would have to try the full size version to give like a final verdict on it. But I feel like it is doing a lot for my lashes. I don't know. Okay, and lastly, the Pretty Basic palette also comes with this lip oil. So it's called the I think it's just called Pretty Basic, and it's just this little mini lip oil. So I was really excited about this, but the only bummer about this is I don't think you can actually buy it in a full size. So if I like it, like I can't actually get it again, but maybe that's on like the horizon. But I have been very into lip oils. I'm hoping this one has a little bit of a pink tint, but we'll see. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this is a little bit stickier than I typically like in a lip oil. Actually, I guess it's not sticky, but it's like thick. I typically like a little bit of a like waterier lip oil. Is that normal? Okay, not a huge fan of the lip oil, I'm not gonna lie. And here is the finished look. So it's very basic, very neutral, and I think that that's like the purpose of the whole palette. So as you saw, the literal whole thing is just these neutral shades. And so would I say that this was a like must-have palette for me? No, in a sense that I definitely have all of these shades, like very similar dupes to these in other eyeshadow palettes that I own. But I will say, you know, the fact that Remy and Alisha put it out definitely had a large impact on why I bought it, just because I love them. They're two of my favorites. Actually, Remy is my favorite YouTuber, and so obviously I felt like I needed to support them and wanted to just see what their product looked like. And it's such just an amazing thing that they had a collaboration with Tarte. I feel like that's huge in terms of their career, and so I definitely wanted to just get it. But I also think it's nice to have all of them in one palette. I like that it does come with the highlighter and the bronzer, so it feels a little bit more versatile. I feel like the size of it is very nice. You could definitely just throw it into a bag. It doesn't feel overwhelming. One thing I've kind of learned about myself is I think that when I'm purchasing palettes and stuff, I feel like the pretty like big extravagant packaging always like draws me in, but then in terms of like actually using them, I end up not using those palettes because they're just so huge and bulky, and I carry around a really small makeup bag. So I like that this just fits right there and it's not too big or too overwhelming. And so I really do like the size of it. I think the shadows apply very nicely. I feel like they have a good formula. And like I said, these are all definitely colors that I'm gonna be using day to day. And I think even with quarantine and me like not wearing a lot of makeup, this is still a palette where I could dip into it and not feel like I have a ton of stuff on my face, but still like have some fun with makeup. So I would definitely recommend, if you're into neutrals and you're looking for a palette, I would say this is a good one to give a shot. Like I said, definitely am not a makeup artist, so please don't judge the palette too much based on my makeup look, but I did enjoy it and have fun with it, and I would say definitely check it out if you're looking for a palette. Other than that, I thank you guys so much for being here and for watching today. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channels. I put out new videos every Monday and other days of the week if I feel like it, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye everyone.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her.